Elon Musk's plan to shut down Jeff Bezos should not come as a surprise.
You're obviously a very competitive person. You're competing with the likes of Jeff Bezos
Jeff who?
Although Musk still maintains his position at number 2 in the global top net worth chart, his company SpaceX actually seems to be surpassing Blue Origin's at this point. Not only is Blue Origin's owned and founded by Jeff Bezos, but it was also established 2 years earlier than SpaceX, having been founded in 2000 compared to 2002 for SpaceX. Despite getting a head start, Blue Origins does not seem to be competing at the same level as SpaceX. This is to say that the goals and plans set up by SpaceX are quite literally out of this world. While it can be argued that the same is also true for Blue Origins, let's have a comparison in this video to decide who appears to be coming out on top. Most space enthusiasts would be aware that it wasn't long ago when Jeff Bezos himself took a trip to space. It was essentially a short journey to space which was taken in the first crewed flight of Blue Origin's rocket ship New Shepard. Bezos was accompanied by Mark Bezos, his brother, Wally Funk, who was an 82-year-old pioneer of the space race, and even an 18-year-old student. The four of them traveled in a capsule with the biggest windows flown in space, and they also offered stunning views of the Earth. Interestingly enough, this trip also had the oldest and the youngest person to have ever entered space. After the capsule landed back on Earth, Jeff Bezos was even seen exclaiming that it was the best day ever. What they essentially accomplished by doing this was that they were able to advertise an entirely new market based on space tourism. And that's exactly what the New Shepard was designed for as well. While critics label this as a waste of money, even for billionaires, it's no secret that it's becoming very popular and SpaceX is not lagging behind at all. Bezos has also been answering environmental concerns. We need to take all heavy industry, all polluting industry, and move it into space, and keep Earth as this beautiful gem of a planet that it is. He said while talking to MSNBC, "It's going to take decades and decades to achieve, but you have to start, and big things start with small steps." That's what this suborbital tourism mission allows us to do. It allows us to practice over and over. Just 2 minutes into the flight, the capsule separated from its rocket and continued to move upwards towards the Kármán line. This line is basically the most widely recognized boundary of space, which lies 100 kilometers from the ground. The newly minted astronauts exclaimed and cheered from the point the curvature of the Earth also becomes visible. Blue Origins may have beat SpaceX if the idea was to take a private manned mission to space, but having a look at the bigger picture suggests that SpaceX is not lagging behind at all. In fact, SpaceX's upcoming plans might end up putting Blue Origin to shame. How so? Well, let's find out. According to the latest plans announced by Musk himself, Elon Musk's rocket plans to go 269 miles further than Jeff Bezos' rocket went. However, the difference will be that the SpaceX founder will not go into orbit himself as part of the billionaire's space race. 4 private citizens are scheduled to board the Inspiration 4 mission. It won't be wrong to say that Elon Musk is set to take a giant leap right ahead of Jeff Bezos and Sir Richard Branson in the billionaire's battle to open up space for live tourism. We know that Mr. Bezos and Sir Richard only very recently launched themselves into zero gravity on suborbital hops, which lasted just under an hour. However, Musk will top them this week by sending the world's first all-civilian crew into full orbit and traveling a much more higher distance as well. Although Musk won't go along, the fact that a SpaceX manned mission will enter space is an achievement in itself. The rocket blasted off from NASA's Kennedy Space Center located in Florida with a Crew Dragon spacecraft which launched on a Falcon 9 rocket. The mission will travel around the Earth for 3 days. The rocket moved higher than the 254-mile altitude of the International Space Station before a final splashdown in the Atlantic. Considering the fact that private citizens were flying even above international astronauts in ISS made this remarkable. In fact, these 4 were also the very first civilians to have orbited the Earth in a private launch. A quick recap of the events can be very interesting as it shows that Musk did in fact top all previous achievements with this move. Back in July, Sir Richard, on his Virgin Galactic rocket plane, had gone above 50 miles, which is regarded as the start of space and ending of Earth's boundary by the US Federal Aviation Administration. However, Mr. Richard was quite short of the Kármán line, which is basically the internationally recognized boundary of space located 62 miles up. Only a couple of weeks later, Jeff Bezos, the founder and owner of Blue Origin, went just above the Kármán line. The move was broadcasted internationally and gained even more hype as Bezos boarded the rocket himself. The SpaceX mission was only automated, but also had a special dome window that had been fitted to the spacecraft just to give passengers incredible views of the Earth. The trip was actually paid for by billionaire Jared Isaacman, 38, who is founder of money processing company Shift4 Payments, and was also on board. However, neither SpaceX nor Mr. Isaacman had said a lot about how much he is paying, but figures of up to $200 million are being estimated. Miss Arkanor, one of the persons on board, became the first person with a prosthetic body part to go to space, as she has an internal prosthesis on her leg. Along with her, on the crew are Sean Proctor, who had won a contest for a ticket, and Chris Sembrowski, 42, who is a data engineer and got his seat in a charity raffle. The mission had taken off from Launchpad 39A, which was the same one used by the Apollo 11 mission to the moon. It is safe to say that this very first mission by SpaceX marked the latest development in an escalating and increasingly bitter rivalry between Musk and Bezos, who also happen to be literally the two richest people on Earth. Very recently, the two had also clashed over a NASA contract to land astronauts on the moon. SpaceX had also ended up winning that contract, leaving Blue Origin's high and dry. This had resulted in Bezos' company suing NASA for not awarding them a contract as well. Since then, NASA's collaborative work with SpaceX has been put to a near halt as the space giants are unable to proceed. Blue Origins had alleged that NASA showed indication of accepting two space agencies but only ended up choosing one. NASA responded by saying that the budget cuts over the recent years did not allow them to pick Blue Origins along with SpaceX. Last week, in a complaint to the Federal Communications Commission, Mr. Bezos' company Amazon said, "The conduct of SpaceX and other Musk-led companies makes their view plain. Rules are for other people, and those who insist upon or even simply request compliance are deserving of derision and ad hominem attacks." Of course, SpaceX responded in kind by accusing Amazon of using theatrics and gamesmanship. The company said, "Another week, another objection from Amazon against a competitor, yet still no sign of progress on Amazon's own long-rumored satellite system." Elon Musk recently also said that Bezos seems to be pursuing a full-time job filing lawsuits against SpaceX. He then proceeded to say that the Inspiration 4 mission would help to ultimately make science fiction not fiction forever. Musk added by saying, "Hopefully, as the name suggests, it inspires people about spaceflight." Although SpaceX and Blue Origin appear to be competing closely, it appears SpaceX has quite an edge. Not only do they have more in-flight experience, but their current end goal is reaching the Red Planet. For Blue Origin, that's not something they are focusing on. Would you agree that SpaceX has clearly dominated the space industry, especially compared to Blue Origin? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.